Shalom Akim. It's Brother Kamal Mahar here, back at it again. First thing first, I'm going to give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders on this true front from GMS. Blessings to the Akim out there preaching his word with whole heart, true sincerity. Blessings to the 144,000 and 1/3, the first fruits kingdom of heaven, the house of David, the Biyaf Dawadah. And Shalom to brothers out there that are speaking in different tongues and looking in different nations. Shalom. So today, brothers, I pretty much found this video on this article on shithitthefan.com. Really good site for brothers to be on a watchtower, get some really good information to drop their vids up and feed the sheep. It's pretty interesting. For the first time ever too, brothers, on a side note, they also Family the Word is a whole nother video. But they just brought down our camp video, man. We was in week in, week out. It's looking like Esau's cracking down on brothers' YouTubes, man. YouTube has been pretty freaked out a little bit in the last couple of days, but Lord willing, we can get that back up. But the Lord says my word doesn't go out in void, so it's all good. But this Federal Reserve, it says Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell admits the truth. We're not going back to the same economy. So I clicked on that, and I thought it was very interesting. Basically, apparently, for this so-called pandemic or the coronavirus is pretty much hindering a lot of people with jobs and stuff like that or whatever, which is prophecy that there'll be a time frame where work will become scarce. And obviously through the work, mirth is being utterly destroyed too. So this is more on I guess this video would be more on the job aspect to it, but I guess I'm gonna tie in some mirth as well, which having no job, having no money, you're not gonna be able to do mirth anyway. But it says now I'm also going to jump up and down. Well, not up and down, but there's certain parts that I read that was very interesting. Okay, so this right here, it says even Jerome Powell is admitting that the boom years are over. Right, they are, because it's so-called the debt bubble or whatever, how they want to look at it, is definitely ready to pop. They're going to just force it to pop at this point. It says for months I've been trying to explain to my readers that the debt-fueled prosperity that we were enjoying prior to the COVID pandemic won't be coming back. And initially I received quite a bit of criticism for saying that, but that criticism has subsided because at this point pretty much everyone can see the truth. Right. Definitely is being exposed with this with the debt thing. They're trying to go to a new currency, but a new economy, which ultimately is what they're going to do. But they just pretty much want to kill the dollar. And like I said, it said where did it just say? It just said here's a key part. It says, I have been trying to explain to my reader that the debt-fueled prosperity that we were enjoying prior to the COVID pandemic won't be coming back. And I have to agree. Before COVID, things were rolling really smoothly. Very smoothly. Everybody's making money, businesses were flourishing, getting better, but now that prosperity and all these jobs that because of the pandemic and mainly the lockdowns is what is what it really was causing businesses to drop left and right. And I'm in my city, I definitely am seeing like Models. You got like big Kmart's, there's another one where they just out of business straight up, and more is going to ramp up. Now they're talking about locking down again. If they lock down again, it's over. Let me keep on reading from here. It says, okay, despite stimulus package after stimulus package, and despite unprecedented intervention by the Federal Reserve, we continue to be mired in the worst economic downturn since the Great Depression of 1930s. Fear of the virus continues to drag down the overall level of economic activity. More businesses are going under with each passing day, and the layoff announcements never seem to end. Right. Yeah, this place is through. It's easily to see. It's easily to see because Like as far as the pandemic goes, every time they lock something down, which well, this will be the second time they do it. But when they lock something down, I mean, they have curfews. They have businesses have to close by a certain time, and then not even just that, the restrictions on businesses in general makes them not even be able to be open. Then they mandating the mask. Yeah, we really are into a new world order under Esau's rule, you know. But most of the time, man, as I'm gonna keep on reading, it's gonna get into it. These lockdowns and all these different sanctions and restrictions, for real, is really hurting the lower class, lower income people. And who was those people? Those are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Indians. Now, certain Esau be in there, but at the end of the day, though, most low income is comprised of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, and that's all they really do, because we know that a lot of these restrictions are just to keep our people down, which are the Israelites of the Bible. Um, Let me see. It says normally Federal Reserve officials try very hard to be relentlessly optimistic, but during a European Central Bank panel discussion on Thursday, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell openly admitted we're not going back to the same economy. This place is over, man. Okay, here we go. Here's a quote. I guess this is from Jerome Powell himself. He says, "We're not going back to the same economy," Powell said. "We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it will be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I will worry that it's going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers." Okay, now this just said we're recovering, but to a different economy, and it will be more leveraged to technology. Now we all know what that technology is. Ultimately, it's going to lead up to the RFID chip. That's where this economy and that's where this different economy is coming. It's coming to a digital dollar, and it'll be no more fiat currency at all. No more paper. It's going to be all digital, and ultimately going to be that RFID chip right in your hand or in your forehead, which is the Neuralink or the RFID chip in your hand. That's why it's more leverage to technology. Everything is going to go to digital. As a man, brothers, I'm gonna say, you know, speaking as a man on this one, Lord willing, but I'm gonna say the end of this year and the first quarter of 2021. The first quarter, what's that? January, February, and March. Between January to February, or the end of this year, let alone who becomes in president, especially if Biden gets in presidency, which most likely he probably will. I'm gonna say by the end of this year into the first quarter, that's short. So what's that? We're in December, so December, that's 4 months right there. I'm just gonna say in the span of 4 months, this new economy is gonna hit. The digital dollar gonna be set, and we're going to be in lockdown mode as well. Like in between the 4 months is going to be a lockdown coming very soon, and that new technology that it's talking about is going to hit. Fiat currency will be over in the next 4 months. That's just my little bet, or my little what you call as a man, my vainly prophecy on that one. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, Lord willing though too, because that chip is the end all be all. We trying to get up out of here. Um, oh, the central bank leader said he was referring specifically to, he was referring specifically to relatively low paid public facing workers who are bearing this brunt, many of whom are women and minorities. You see that? So they already know who this is going to attack and how this is going to hit, and who they're aiming it to. And then okay, and Jerome Powell is hip to the game, but for the sake of media in his article, obviously he's coming at it like he not understanding, or he don't understand what's going on. But it says his use of the phrase "a different economy" really got my attention. When I am trying to break some really bad news to someone in a gentle way, I will often use the word different to describe what things would be like moving forward. And I think that Powell is doing the same thing here. Okay, so not Powell is not lost. This particular whoever wrote this article is Michael Snyder is what his name is. Okay, and he's right. That's a good way of because Esau is really smooth with his words. You just can't say, "Oh, we're going to chip everybody and we're going to a digital currency. We're going to crash the dollar." And they're not going to say that, So he knows right here in the middle. It says he knows that there is no way that things will that return to normal anytime soon, and he is quite correct to be particularly concerned about how this will affect low-paid workers, or what you would call so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Indians. Then he gonna try to say women and then minorities. Okay, cool. It says low-paid workers have been losing their jobs at a much higher rate than anyone else, and the job losses just keep rolling in. On Thursday, we learned that another 709,000 Americans filed new claims for unemployment benefits last week, and that number is more than three times higher than what we witnessed during a typical week in 2019. And this is right here. This is beautiful because this is prophecy, man. And this is in pretty much soon. This job industry is gonna be destroyed, man. This place is through. I can read maybe like come back on down. It's going into let me see. All right, I'll read this little quote right here, or this little. So the Labor Department report showed in the 11th straight week that new jobless claims totaled below 1 million, but new claims have not been yet broken back below 700,000 since the start of the pandemic, and have been sharply above levels from before the outbreak. Throughout 2019, new initial unemployment claims were coming in at an average of just over 200,000 per week. Yo, this place is through. I wanted to bring that out, this article, because it's hey, man, this is I think it goes into lockdowns again. Okay, let me all right, before I'm gonna bring this precept out, let me see. I'm gonna skip down to here where it says and many analysts are deeply concerned that the new wave of lockdowns that is now starting to happen around the nation will cause renewed surge in layoffs. Man, look, a colder weather sets in and fear of the virus escalates. Consumers may turn more cautious about traveling, shopping, dining out, and visiting gyms, barbershops, and retailers. Companies in many sectors could cut jobs or workers' hours. In recent days, the virus surgeons have triggered a tighter restrictions on businesses, mostly restaurants and bars, in a range of states, including Texas, New York, Maryland, and Oregon. The risk may be more layoffs as coronavirus cases surge, as some states impose restrictions on activity. And Nancy Vanden Houghton, an economist at the forecasting from Oxford Economics. Look, you know what? This is my last little part. This is what I wanted right here. Yesterday, I discussed the fact that one of the experts on Joe Biden's new COVID-19 advisory board wants a full national lockdown for at least 1 month once Biden is in the office. Now we know from the last lockdown, they said a lockdown for a month, and then they extended it to another month, and then extended it. They just kept extending it until it kind of opened up a little bit. But that was part of their agenda, to open up, to cause more spikes, and then to really lock it down. Man, people think, man, we ignorant to the devices, man. That's ridiculous. Israelites are hip to the game, man. I wanted Ecclesiastes 12. Um, right. Ecclesiastes 12 and 3. It says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Right. Because what it's talking about is, it says the grinders cease. That's the jobs. It's the working industry. The grinders cease, meaning no jobs at all. And it says because there are few. And mind you, it's talking about, in the article I just brought out, it was talking about major layoffs. And what is a layoff? Is because when the business can't pay enough people that they have, they got to start cutting numbers in order to stay afloat. That's a layoff, which means fewer more jobs they can only handle. And it says, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Right. That's just going into the fact that there's no future. It's like, damn, you can't really see, any, the optimistic feelings and behaviors will go. There's no future, and it's not looking too good, and trying to apply for a job at a certain point is like pointless, is because it's like, damn, ain't no really jobs to really go for, and people gonna be left on stuck, which is gonna be part of those plagues that's gonna be causing famines and people in sedition among men and robbing and stealing in people's houses. That's what's gonna be going down because there ain't no jobs, ain't no money, so people got to get it how they live. The robbery gonna go on an all-time high. And it says, Ecclesiastes 12:4, and the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low too. And that's already happening. We see that. You got the WAPs, and you got the, city girls, and all this extra Megan Thee Stallions, and all this folly. The music is on some, it's terrible. It's not like back in the day when you had the real hip hop, which I was younger, but I can see the difference between real substance and lyrics and not. But it said the door shall be shut in the streets. We see that now too. How many stores are we seeing boarded up? Mainly because of the looting and rioting. But at the end of the day, though, eventually, once more businesses shut down, they're gonna be shutting the doors up, man. The grinding is low, man. People are losing jobs left and right. And that's just how things are going to be, and how the Lord said it was. And this prophecy coming to pass. I've never seen so many jobs lost at one time. I never seen so many businesses shutting down. The only time people have ever seen that was maybe a little bit in 2008, which I haven't seen it in the 1929 1930s depression, Great Depression. You would have thought 1930, 1929, 1930 was going to be the time we live in Revelations, but there was no chip, there was no, the other prophecies wasn't really around. We're in these prophecies of the chip, jobs being lost, famine, swords, sedition among men, wars and wars, all in one time frame. This is insane. This is beautiful. I mean, this is really, really awesome. And what brothers would say, beautiful times to live in. I have to agree. Um, I have to agree, man. I have to agree. What's this? I was in second Edris 16. I wanted to hit a couple valid points. I think I was around like in 39, I believe. Because with these lack of jobs and with these so many the society of America is civilized a little bit still. You see a little bit of sedition of men, but it's not really where it's not biblical yet, but it's becoming to be extremely biblical. And I'm telling you, once these jobs fall way more and they shut down a national shutdown again, and because there's already other countries that's already having a was that UK, I think, is already doing it. Was it Italy, I think, was doing it? I'm sure I think China. I'm a little off, brothers, but I know there's Germany. I think there's certain UK. I think is definitely one where they have national lockdowns already. So they're already in lockdown mode, and we're going to go back to the same thing we was in starting in March. It's coming back, but with those lockdowns on a second wave of a lockdown, it's going to really destroy all the infrastructure that this place has to be. I wanted okay, so okay, I can read 39 and 40. Even so, 2nd Ezra 16:39. Even so shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn, and the sorrow shall come upon it on every side. That's your Jacob's trouble right there. That's just a bad time, man. Famine, destruction, and then just, killing people, killing sedition among men, and evading one another. All that's in the same flow. And it says, "Oh, my people, hear my word. Make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be as pilgrims upon the earth." Now let's look up the word pilgrim, because pilgrim is really, I think, is really making my point. Pilgrim is pilgrim. It says a person who journeys to a scarce place for religious reasons. Okay, travel or wander like a pilgrim. Right. Let me see something real quick. Example of a pilgrim. Okay, so being a pilgrim sounds like apostle. Uh, that's pretty much what it sounds like an apostle. That's basically what it's saying. What it sounds like. But the point was that a pilgrim was a person who wanders, a person who journeys to a sacred place or religious reasons. Okay, cool. So that's what we're gonna be doing, being as pilgrims. Cool. I actually like that. That's true. We're gonna be as pilgrims. But it also was saying that you're a wanderer. So or what you would call migration. We're going to be moving from place to place to place. So there's really no point. There's really no point to have a job as a pilgrim, and there's really no. You're not really sitting still. You constantly on the move. And it says, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away, and he that buyeth as one that will lose. It's no winning, man. It's no winning in this bad time that we coming in. It's gonna be no job. Let me say 42. He that occupieth merchandise as he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. Right? Because you're gonna build a crib and you're not gonna be able to stay in there. It's gonna be ramshacked. It's gonna be looted, rioted. Or you're gonna have to flee. Like it's saying you're gonna have to flee. So it's like it's really no point into trying to, there's no point in trying to profit in this place at that time frame, because it's all in vanity. And I think it's going to get to that point too, because you got to think about it. When those times come, brothers, the elect, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Indians, we're not going to be worried about no job. We're going to be worrying about surviving and getting through this crazy time. Lord willing, you die as a martyr for the name of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, or the Lord dealing with you too as a martyr. But the Lord has you, seeing right there. Because if you're not a martyr and you part of the elect, you're going to see it through. And so you're going to be praying as pilgrims and moving and wandering around, praying to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi to have mercy, to deliver you through these bad times, and that way you can make it through to salvation, Lord willing. That's all you're gonna be worried about. Eating and drinking and all that. The Lord gonna have that in control. That's the faith coming. The Lord said He's gonna take care of His men. He's gonna take care of His men. But that's the number. That's all you're gonna be worried about. You're not gonna be worried about nothing else. Not no loan. Not no next paycheck. What's up with my car? Washing the car. None of that shit. You're gonna be worried about family and survival. And thinking about all day, every day, in the name of Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi. That's all you gonna have. Let me see, 43. It said, he that soweth as if he should not reap, so also that he planteth the vineyard, as he that shall not gather the grapes. Right. You're not going to plant a vineyard and then be around to even reap the benefits of it. You're not going to have time for that. Jacob's trouble, man, and these bad times are going to be insane. It's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. Here we go. Yup. Now, all right. I could 44 is good. Okay, 15, 45. And therefore, they that labor in vain. Labor in vain. It's going to be ridiculous. See, and trying to work in that day will really be like, that's just holding on to the system. Like, you really, really into the system. And it says, yup. Why? 46. For strangers shall reap their fruits and spoil their goods, overthrow their houses and take their children captives. For in captivity and famine shall they get children. Not to mention, why would you take children? Shoot, that sounds like cannibalism right there at some point. Because it's there's no jobs, there's no money, there's no infrastructure. So the only way to survive is to spoil goods and rob people. That's the only way how people going to survive, is by taking possessions. As a matter of fact, right here it says 47, and they that occupy their merchandise with robbery. See that? And the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own, and the more they deck their cities, their houses, their possessions, and their own persons. Right? The more will I be angry with them for their sin, saith the Lord. Right? That's exactly what's going to happen. It's not going to be enough jobs on the scene, and so it's going to cause anarchy, robbery, rape, and murder. That's just what it is, man. Because right here at the top, the Lord was getting into it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna end off with this precept because it says shit. All right, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read 17. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine, right? No jobs, no money. So that's famines come out of that. Great death, the beginning of wars. See, World War III. The power shall stand in fear, and the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish, and are sent as scourges for amendment. Right. But for all these things shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Here's my point right here. I'm gonna go into 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Yup. And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. Right. See that right there? Yo, man, it's gonna look like the what's that? I Am Legend and Will Smith, The Walking Dead, Purge. It's look Bushwick. We at the end, brothers. So having no jobs, man, and this next pandemic, this next lockdown is gonna cause all of this, man. I can really see 2021 being total shit hit the fan anarchy. Second Edges 15 and 16 most likely will begin in 2021. Lord willing. I brought this out. This was edifying to you, brothers, man. We almost out of here, brothers, man. We got a kingdom coming. So let these plagues come and all these sorrows, let them happen, because the Lord said was going to happen. And for these things to happen, in order for the kingdom to come. I want to give all praise to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, qadash. Yahawah, he is to be, exists, Bahasham in the name. And the only begotten Son, the Lord and Savior, Yahawashi, Bahasham in the name. And the Holy Spirit of qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders on this truth from GMS. Blessing to the Akim there preaching his word with wholehearted true sincerity. Blessing to 144,000 and 1/3 entirely. The house of David, the Biaf Dawadah, the first fruits kingdom of heaven. And Shalom to you brothers out there speaking in different tongues and looking in different nations and pushing the rock. And naming Yahawah Shem Yahawashi. Shalom, brothers.